try to stop the mission. They try to break me, try to take me out, but I got Jesus on my side. So bad I thought it would die.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Maria Duenas with the Entrepreneur Soiree. And today we will be recording this video from the comfort of my own home. We had such a crazy weekend celebrating both of my sons' birthdays. So we did a big old birthday bash. So I just had to take it a bit slow, but I am super excited to be back with you and share an important topic that's kind of been in the back of my head for some time now. And I feel that it's time that we kind of start speaking up, especially the smaller businesses that get to experience, how social media can impact your business in a positive way or a negative way. And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll be talking about one particular incident and how that affected us on a higher level that we could have never imagined. But thankfully, I always say, like, the truth always, comes out one way or another. And you always have to have faith that things will work out in the end to your favor, assuming you're not doing anything wrong. So today, like I said, as a business owner and in the event planning industry, we get to work with all kinds of people. And I have to say that we've been very blessed to have some of the most amazing clients that we actually consider like family. So there was this one particular client, former client that we used to work with, and she obviously had a title of an influencer. So we all know that nowadays, anyone that is verified and considered celebrity influencer, in my opinion, opinion and experience, they always want to see, like, how can we collaborate, the term they like to use, or how can we work together and we exchange some services for, let me share your story let me share your page on my stories or the services you provided, and maybe not charge them the fee we would normally charge any, regular client. And as much as we love to work with, these influencers, celebrities, I always say, if I can take that tag or that time you shared, our page and your stories to the bank and cash it, I would be doing this all day long. But reality is that we can't. So we want to make sure we give everyone the opportunity. We would love to work with people that want to work with us, but sometimes, it can actually backfire. So I'm going to talk about this particular incident that we had with an influencer. And she was a really, really good customer of ours. I mean, we never had any, reason to believe that our relationship would come to an end the way it did. And I trusted her and her entire team completely. So when it would come up, when it was time to let's just say plan her event, it was always kind of like last minute. So we would never really have to worry about, like, oh, you haven't paid your balance in full, because I trusted her and she always, paid her balance the day of or the day after. And that's just kind of the relationship I build with some of our customers, truth be told. So this one time, she and her significant other had planned a very last minute event, and they had to cancel the event twice. So the first time I let it go because life happens and we are not always about the money, and we're not, we get it. We understand. So I let it slide. They tried rescheduling the same event a second time. So we went ahead and talked the terms, and I, verbally communicated, like, in order for us to be able to move forward, we would need at this point to have a deposit of this, dollar amount to be able to say we're confirmed and moving forward. And if, you cancel your event one more time, then you will be responsible for the full amount, regardless of whatever emergency that is. So that's kind of how we went about the situation. Fast forward to, less than 24 hours, I get a notification from the client saying, we're going to have to cancel the event for another personal reason that she hadn't mentioned, but it was definitely not an emergency. So at that point I said, okay, so, I tried contacting her. She didn't respond. I followed up properly with text messages, emails. She wasn't responding. So at that point I had to cancel all of our vendors, and my vendors, being very understanding, said, no problem, Maria, but you still owe us. So guess what? I had to pay out of my pocket every single one of our vendors. So I said, okay, we're going to give our client some time, just because we understand she's going through some things. And we definitely, again, I always like to put myself in other people's shoes and understand that, people are going through stuff. So I always want to give them that space and respect their space. So I let a couple of days go by, and then I followed up with the client and I didn't hear from her. Then followed up with the assistant, didn't hear from her. Then I followed up with an email, text messages, even though the moment the client canceled the event, or the second time around, via text message, she said, don't worry, even though I'm canceling the event, I'm still going to pay the balance in full. Let me know how you would like me to take care of it, whether you want to pick up some cash or I'll send you a check. So at that point I said, I can pick up, the cash, or just send me the check. Here's my information. Thank you very much. And life goes on. So a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, mind you, I'm just not hearing from her. So I'm thinking, well, what do I do? Again, considering the fact that we've had such a great relationship and have done several celebrations for her and her friends, I figured, let me just give her some space, a little bit more, and then we'll see how this goes. So a month went by, 2 months went by, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is not cool anymore. So I contacted my attorney and I asked for her guidance. And I said, so what do we do in a situation like this? So she said, okay, well, let's send her a letter, so that we can go ahead and one last time ask her to pay her balance before we take her to small claims. And I said, okay, perfect, no problem. So we sent her the letter and we gave her 30 days to, pay the balance, or else we were going to move forward with, taking her to court. So long story short, the month goes by and we didn't hear from her. So like a month and a day, she calls my attorney and says, oh my gosh, I haven't seen the letter, but I saw it now. I'm sending the check, immediately, like the following day. And she did. She sent the check. Then we thankfully, got paid, and I was able to recuperate all the money that I had originally spent by paying all of my vendors up front. And so I said, okay, perfect. No problem. Thank you, Lord. We can close this chapter and move on. So here we go. What did she do? So she sends the check. So, and then she had the nerve to go on her social media channel and create this video and twisted everything to her advantage and to her favor. So she was talking about the incident she had with us without mentioning our name, but because we had been working with her for so long, everyone, knew who we were. And she, like I said, I think she has over 1 million followers, and they have been following the journey that we have created, these other events for her. So next thing you know, she does this video. The video gets over 700,000 views, and God knows, like over 30,000 comments. And I never could have imagined, number one, her doing this to us. And secondly, the amount of bullying that we received because of this video, I can't tell you like how it affected me, like on a personal level, because I was always putting myself in her shoes and trying to be understanding that she was going through things in her personal life. So I never wanted to even think about, I didn't even feel right taking her to court if she didn't pay. Like I was willing to just let it go. But also the other side of me said, well, it's based on principle, because if you said you were going to do this, well, then I expect you to do this. And that's exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting her to pay like she originally had said. So anyway, going back to the comments that we were receiving through the DMs, the negative posts that we were receiving on our pictures and other high-end events that we had already done, and her little tribe or army or whatever, social media term these influencers have of their followers, it was getting out of control, and even like getting threats. And I was like, I cannot believe this. So firsthand, we actually experienced this, something that I would have never imagined. Here I have all of our vendors messaging other people, sending us, is she talking about you? Is this person talking about you? Is it? And I was just like so embarrassed, because I was like, she didn't say the truth. She actually lied. The only part that was true from that video that she said was that she sent payment. And that was it. Everything else was a lie. And I just was worried, because I was like, obviously they do have a huge following, and people right away buy into their stories because this is what they do for a living. But I always said, you know what, if people are smart enough, they're going to know that there's always two sides to a story. And just because she's an influencer and she has all these followers doesn't make everything that comes out of her, mouth, or the content that she puts out, that it's actually true. So thankfully, I always say, if you leave things in God's hands, like, things will always work out for the better. And that's exactly what happened. We lived and we learned. Unfortunately, because of her, now we have different, I would say rules in place, that even though we do have like an amazing relationship with I would say all of our clients, we have to kind of do things a little bit different, because she did kind of ruin it for everyone else, which I think is pretty fair, because we really like to work out of trust. And there's times where I've turned down clients where it just doesn't feel like they trust me enough, or I trust them. So it's not about the money at the end of the day. It's about working with people that truly love what you do and that trust you, that you're going to be able to bring their vision to life, and they aren't like micromanaging like every step of the way. Because at that point, I always say, like, you could do it yourself. I could tell you exactly where to go and who to call, and you put it together. So anyway, going back to, I thought that this actually just happened to businesses, like small businesses like me, and come to find out that this is happening more and more. And we're thinking, like, do we call out people? Do we say who these people are and just put them on blast? Like, how could people just not pay for a service that they ordered? So recently on social media, I've been seeing a lot of other event planners with higher end clientele, celebrity status, that are not getting paid, that are still having a balance like of $50,000 or even more. And I've been reaching out to these planners because I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, this happened to you too. So that makes me not feel that bad, because people are just doing other, planners dirty. And it's just not fair, because we definitely work very hard to put on every single one of our events. Like, it doesn't matter how big or how small, the amount of time and energy that is spent, it's crazy. And at the end of the day, even though it sounds like you guys are paying us a lot of money, it's not, because number one, we're obviously a small business. We're probably operating out of our home or a small warehouse or a small office. We have a team that we have to pay. We have other vendors that we work with, and you don't understand, like, everyone has stuff going on. And at times, like in my case, I have kids that I have to take care of. Like, I have to put them to the side to take care of your needs. I have to try to figure out who's going to help me on the day of the event. I'm running around, doing all the legwork for you so that you can hang out and spend time with your family and you don't have to worry about your event. So a lot of the times I feel clients sometimes don't get it, and it's kind of sad. But like I said, thankfully, we do have a really, really amazing list of clients that we consider like family and really close to us, and that have been working with us like since day one. But like I said, this is something that has been in the back of my head, and I wanted to speak up because it's just not fair. I was going to go after this particular client for defamation of character, but it's just too much energy that would have to be spent. And I had just recently had my second child. So I was like, I don't have time for this, and I'm just going to let life take care of this person, and I'm just going to let it be. But I'm sure in other instances, other planners or other vendors may not be as forgiving as I was, but it is what it is. And I definitely would love, to hear your thoughts or whatever, if anyone else has kind of gone through this, like, how did you guys handle it? Because it's always great to know that, there's other approaches that can be taken and still hopefully have, a positive outcome. So at the end of the day, you definitely don't want a situation like this to ruin, your experience and feel like that everyone's going to take advantage of you, because reality is that that's not the way it's going to be. And definitely learn to set some boundaries. And I guess when you feel certain things aren't going in the direction you want them to go, maybe it's okay to address it with the client. And like I said, I've done this 1,000 times where I will tell people that are interested in working with us, I don't feel we're the right fit for each other, just because, again, if the trust isn't there or they're coming, across the wrong way. This is supposed to be a fun journey. Planning an event should always be fun. I know it's stressful, but trust me, just the entire process is just it truly is amazing. And both the client and us want to make sure we're able to communicate in a way that it doesn't feel like it's forced or there's tension or it's my way or we can't do things like this because I didn't suggest it. We're always very open to whatever our clients want to do. We're extremely flexible. I mean, you can reach me on my cell phone. You can reach me on, our Instagram page. You can call me. I don't even think I would tell you no, you can only call me between 9 and 5. And I think that's something that's been in the back of my head. Maybe I should just put office hours, but like I said, I genuinely love what I do. And I want to connect with everyone. I want to talk to everyone about their event and just see how excited they get while, we're talking about the ideas and they're sending, over their pictures. So at the end, it's just do whatever feels right in your heart, and don't ever let these influencers / celebrities try to make you feel a certain way if you don't want to collaborate with them. We get so many messages too from other influencers saying, oh, we'd love to collaborate. We love to collaborate. And when I drop the question, well, what's your budget? I love to hear your ideas. How much money do we have to work with? I'll never hear from them again. And I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine with that because, like I said, we're not here just to cater to these influencers that, at times like to take advantage. Don't get me wrong. We work with some other amazing influencers and celebrities that are just genuinely good people, but you'll be able to figure that out as you go. So I hope this episode was, it's helpful in some way. And if you guys are going through something similar, don't be afraid to share your experience. Like I said, this is something that's been in the back of my head for some time. And I wanted to share this, but never just talking about it for the wrong reasons and or criticizing the client because of the behavior they had towards us, but more for a learning experience that people sometimes will take advantage of you because of this social status that they have on social media. And it's not fair because we are all the same and we all deserve the same respect regardless of who you are. So those are my 2 cents, guys. And you can follow us on our Instagram page at Delish Event. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radicals, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.